Today, I am reviewing the Sony ZV-1F Compact Digital Camera 4K. If at any time you'd like to explore this product for yourself and grab it at a great price, be sure to check the links below the video. I have been using the Sony ZV-1F for the past 3 weeks as my primary vlogging camera, and I have to be honest, it is a bit of a polarizing piece of gear. When you first pick it up, the first thing you notice is how incredibly light it is. It feels almost like a toy compared to a full-frame mirrorless body, but that is exactly the point. This camera is built for one specific person, the creator who is tired of holding a heavy gimbal or a bulky camera at arm's length while walking around the city. The star of the show here is definitely that 20mm ultra-wide lens. If you have ever struggled with vlogging cameras that feel too tight, where you can barely fit your face and the background into the frame, this lens fixes that immediately. At arm's length, you get a really generous field of view. It is wide enough that you do not feel like you are cramming yourself into the frame, which makes it much more comfortable for run-and-gun shooting. If you want to check out the current pricing or see some of the technical specs in more detail, you can find the links I have included below the video. However, that lens is also one of the biggest trade-offs. It is a fixed prime lens, meaning there is no optical zoom. You are stuck at that 20mm focal length. While Sony includes a digital zoom feature, you're going to see a hit to your image quality if you rely on it. If you're the type of creator who likes to punch in for B-roll or get tight shots of products, you're going to find this camera frustrating. You have to physically move your feet to get the shot you want, which is fine for vlogging, but it does limit your creative options if you're trying to use this as a multi-purpose camera. The 1-inch sensor is a noticeable step up from any smartphone I have used. I took this out at dusk to test the low-light performance, and the f2 aperture really does help. You get a nice, soft background blur that looks natural, not that weird, glitchy software-generated bokeh you get on phones. It handles streetlights and shadows quite well, though if you push the ISO too high, you will start to see some noise. It is not a cinema camera, but for social media content, the footage is crisp, vibrant, and looks professional enough that most people will not be able to tell the difference between this and a much more expensive setup. One thing that really impressed me was the autofocus. Sony has been the king of eye tracking for a long time, and they brought that same tech here. Even when I was walking toward the camera or turning my head to look at something in the background, the ZV-1F locked onto my eye instantly. I never had to worry about being out of focus, which is a huge relief when you're filming yourself and cannot see the screen perfectly. Speaking of the screen, the side-articulating touchscreen is responsive and bright enough to see even on a sunny day. The menu system is also much simpler than the professional Alpha series cameras, which makes it very approachable if you're not a tech expert. Now, let's talk about the audio. Sony includes a dead cat windscreen in the box, which is a nice touch. The 3-capsule microphone is surprisingly clear for a built-in unit. If you are vlogging in a quiet room or a low-wind outdoor area, you can definitely get away with using the internal audio. That said, if you are in a noisy city or a windy park, it is still going to struggle. You can find links below if you want to look into external microphone options, because if you are serious about your audio, you will eventually want to plug something into the side port. The real disappointment for me was the battery life. If you are shooting in 4K, this camera drains power faster than I expected. I found myself swapping batteries or plugging into a power bank after about 45 minutes of continuous recording. If you are planning a full day of shooting, you absolutely need to carry at least 2 spare batteries. It is a small price to pay for the portability, but it is something you need to plan for. I think this camera is perfect for someone who is currently using their phone to create content and feels like they have hit a wall. If you want better low-light performance, better depth of field, and a dedicated device that does not distract you with notifications, this is a great upgrade. It is simple, it is fast, and it is very reliable. But if you're a photographer who wants to zoom in on distant subjects, or if you are looking for a camera with a robust manual control set for professional cinematography, you should look elsewhere. You might find the lack of a zoom lens and the limited battery life to be deal breakers. Value-wise, it is a solid mid-range option. It is not cheap, but you're paying for that Sony autofocus reliability and the specific ergonomics that make vlogging actually enjoyable. It does not feel like a professional tool, but it does not pretend to be one either. It is a tool for creators who value speed and ease of use over complex settings and lens swapping. If you are interested in seeing how it fits into your specific workflow, feel free to use the links below to check it out. Overall, I think the ZV-1F is a great camera for the right user, as long as you understand exactly what you are getting into with that fixed lens and the battery requirements.